$10,000. That's enough money to buy 44,444 chicken McNuggets. It's enough to buy 33 Oculus Quests. It's enough to buy one fursuit. Huh. The Opera GX Game Jam was held for 2 weeks between July 29th and August 13th. Hosted by Opera, a web browser company, and Yo-Yo Games, the creator of Game Maker Studio 2, the goal of this jam was for game developers to make a game for the no internet page on Opera's Epic gaming web browser. Think like the dinosaur game on Google Chrome. The prize for first place was $10,000. Second was $7,000. And third was $3,000 US. Nothing to sneeze at. My friend Fartfish, whom I've worked with on multiple occasions now, messaged me and asked if I wanted to join an all-star team of game developers to make a game for the jam. Let's meet the team.
Choose your character.
On July 29th, the jam started. The theme was announced as UFO, but I wasn't actually at my workspace at the time, so I couldn't start on the game the first day. It ended up working out though, because we spent the first day brainstorming ideas on what we wanted the game to be. With direction from our director, we discussed our many ideas. My favorite two of which were an Overcooked Among Us task hybrid, and the game that we actually ended up going with, a Hell is Other Demons inspired arena shooter, which we were calling Aliens on My Lawn.
What did he say?
You see, one of the great advantages of working in a team is that you have input from multiple sources. 6 of us never even gave the name a second thought. It wasn't until Amorphous pointed out the comparison to immigration that we realized the game could have a much darker meaning. We didn't want the game to represent that, and we didn't want to offend anyone over something as trivial as a name, so we renamed it to Uh-Oh UFO, which is arguably a better name anyway. But during this brainstorming session, Fartfish made a majority of the art for the game. He's just a madman. The day after brainstorming, I was back home and ready to start developing the game. I implemented the same movement system that I use for basically all of my platformers. After making the player able to jump and move, I gave them the ability to aim up and down. That's not quite right. Let's fix that real quick. Alright, easy peasy. Now let's do the diagonal. Wait, why is it backwards? It crashed? After a little bit of finagling, I finally got the complete aiming system working before I started on shooting. First, I just made it so the player could create bullets from the gun using a button on the keyboard before I actually implemented bullet behavior. I then reread the design outline and saw that we needed a shotgun, so I fixed the bullet count accordingly. We also wanted to have the bullets slow down and fade out, so I did that as well. Before we get into the next day, since you're watching this video, you're probably interested in making money as a game developer, so let's hear a word from today's sponsor. Core is a new game creation platform where anyone can create, share, and play multiplayer PC games. It's completely free on the Epic Games Store, and you can create games with thousands of free art assets, music, and sounds. You don't even have to write any code, though the option is there in Lua. There's even built-in multiplayer, so you can just publish your game instantly for others to play. Core is powered by Unreal Engine, which gives it high-quality AAA graphics, and Core also offers a 50% revenue share with its game creators through the Core Perks program. That's twice Roblox and 10 times Fortnite Creative's revenue share. Some creators have even been able to pay their bills, afford their dream cars, and quit their day jobs with the help of the Perks program. Right now, Core is hosting the Game Creator Challenge with a $13,000 prize pool. They're collaborating with 9 YouTubers to lead a faction of game creators to compete in the same challenge. You can join your favorite YouTuber and be a part of their faction. Submit your own games made in Core and win up to $1,000 in prizes. The challenge ends on December 15th, and you can start by downloading Core for yourself with the free link in the description. The next day I started on the first enemy in the game. It started out way too fast and held its gun backwards sometimes, but eventually he became the intelligent creature that we all know and love. And by intelligent, I mean he walks within shooting distance of the player and backs up like a little coward if the player gets too close. After I gave it the ability to die, I gave it the ability to be birthed. Next, I implemented the decor and tile set that Fartfish made before starting work on a score and difficulty scaling system. That is, for those of you who don't know, making the game more difficult the longer that you play it. I was really just trying to get everything functional first, just in case something happened and we had to submit early, we would still have a playable game that we could submit. That being said, that's why the difficulty scaling at this portion sucks. and we completely remake it later. Kira worked on the game a little later in the day and implemented some outstanding polish like screen shake, a player walk animation, and made the camera pixel perfect, which gives it a really cool effect. Today I completely reworked the spawning and difficulty scaling system. Now instead of just multiplying the score by some number and making enemies spawn at that rate, it has set spawn rates based on the score and thresholds. Also, while it isn't visible since we only have one enemy right now, there's also a troop buy system, as I like to call it. Basically, this just means that every time the game is ready to spawn enemies, it has a set amount of points to buy them with. For example, let's say aliens are worth 100 points and another enemy is worth 50. Let's say the UFO's points for the spawn round is 100, so it can spawn either one alien or two of the other enemy. I think it's a neat system, and I can't remember exactly where I got the idea from, but I actually used it first when I was remaking Sorcerer Shootout. That day I also decided to fix the fact that aliens don't telegraph their shots, making their bullets way harder to dodge. To do this, I made it so that the aliens' guns grow slightly bigger before they shoot. Kira also did a lot more polish today, but I also can't find the footage for it, so you'll just have to believe me. You'll definitely see it in the final product though, it's amazing. Today was the day when the game was finally playable. I implemented player health and, by extension, player death, which made the game fully functional. There was still a lot that we wanted to do, but now if we were to run out of time, we'd still have a playable game to submit. To make bullets stand out more, since they're something you most definitely want to see in Dodge, Fartfish suggested adding a bullet outline. After that, I also started on the main menu functionality. It's really basic here, but eventually it'll become this with the help of our director Z Richmond's design and Kira's programming. One of the requirements for the jam was for the game to have multiplayer functionality, so I added a second player that is controlled with the right side of the keyboard, while player 1 is controlled with the left. I was on a roll for the first half of this jam, and on the same day I created some cool enemy death effects.
I just think they're neat.
Notice how I said on a roll for the first half. I didn't really do much except for a bit of polish that I don't have footage for from the 3rd to the 6th. Kira did stuff, however. She did a lot of polish and tweaks, including controls, particles, etc. It made the game look amazing. It wasn't just polish though, she also implemented power-ups in the form of a machine gun and a rocket launcher. These felt really fun to use, and the flashy timer effect at the top I thought was awesome. From the beginning we also wanted to have one-way platforms, and since I'm a dunce, I didn't know how to implement them, so she did that during this time as well. We also implemented the amazing sound effects that Ryan DS made. Here's a little taste of the game with some sounds from Ryan and the music from Lazernaut. On the 7th, I implemented a second enemy into the game. This is a squid that flies towards you, takes a bite out of you, and then flies away for a short period of time before swooping in for another.
They came bounding over.
Kira also implemented the gorgeous background that Amorphous made into the game around this time. Most of the rest of the jam was just polish and making the game look nice. This includes this awesome death effect and death screen that Kira programmed with UI art from Fartfish. I don't have footage for most of the rest of the jam because both of us were getting pretty burnt out at this point. While I am relieved that it is finished, I am still very happy with the final product, and the entire team did a fantastic job. After the jam ended, we waited for the ratings. Winner announcements were pushed back from the original due date twice due to the overwhelming amount of games submitted to the jam. In the end, over 900 games were submitted to the jam, and we had a lot of competition. Despite the large number of contestants, we managed to rank in the top 100 games. To put that into perspective, with over 900 people, that's about the top 11% of submissions. Unfortunately, we weren't able to make it in the top 8 or secure any cash prizes, but we still came out with a fantastic game and I had a really fun time. If you want to play the game for yourself, there's a link in the description, but this is definitely an experience that I'll look back at with fond memories. By the way, don't forget to check out Core. It's completely free, you can use the link in the description to get started and join the Game Creator Challenge. Bye!